Hey guys, welcome to the Drift Podcast, and I'm Travis,
And I'm Ben.
and today we are discussing and reviewing how to drift videos
On YouTube.
on YouTube.
Because there are some interesting ones.
Interesting's an interesting word for
Yeah,
some of
look.
them.
I remember back when I started, there was maybe like 5 main how to drift videos.
Mm-hmm.
There was the Battle Magazine one with Alexi,
Yep.
the Drift Bible, and then there was like a D1 demo video, which was basically just a lot of messing around, and then it switched to motorbikes doing jumps, and then Kazama was doing his rodeo drift in a convertible S13. And then there was the hot version video in America, again with Sachia. And there was one other one, it escapes my mind at the moment. But yeah, there was only like a few main how to drift videos when I first started. And they were pretty good, actually. Like, we reviewed the Drift Bible. And,
We've
you
already
know,
done that
bar
one.
a few little things, it was pretty relevant.
Yeah.
But yeah, since the internet has taken over,
We've got a few more.
yes. That, like,
Some better
actually,
than others.
I almost couldn't find half the old videos
Yeah.
under all the new videos. So
Yeah, because some of those videos go viral, and
yes,
then it makes it hard
maybe
to find
not
the
quite
genuinely
for
good
the
ones.
right reasons.
Yeah.
But
We'll
yeah,
get into that.
yeah, we'll get into it. I mean, we have a selection of good ones.
Yeah,
and
it's
some
a mix.
interesting ones.
It's a mix. There's not many crap ones that we're reviewing. Like, we're not here
No.
to just rag on people,
No, we're just like,
but it's more just we're critically analyzing
Yes.
some of these, and then also talking about a lot of the good points of even some of the bad ones or different viewpoints that they have.
yeah,
I think the biggest thing to remember as well is everyone's different.
exactly.
You know,
and
like.
something different might work for one person but doesn't work for the other. So.
Exactly. You know, and we could be ragging on these people and they could be genuinely really good drivers in person because it just works for them.
Yeah.
So if you are looking at this and you're like, what the hell are these guys talking about? They got no fucking idea. That's exactly how I do it, and I'm fucking basically Suchiya. So, you know, like, if you're looking at that and you're thinking about what we're saying is incorrect, that's cool.
It
Just
probably is
fucking
'cause
hate.
Trav
It's
can't
all
drive.
good. So I don't care. I'll deal. Let's get into it. So first up, straight into it.
Straight into it. We've got a video from Garage Sideways. Now, this YouTube channel has actually popped up a few times in my news feed, and it's one that I'll occasionally watch for a good laugh, but yeah, it's not one that I like watch all the time, but they're pretty funny. Anyways, this video came out a while back, and
These
Whoa.
Facebook comments might not work. So if you guys do want to comment,
maybe head to YouTube.
yeah, head to YouTube and we'll see your comments on YouTube if they don't start working on Facebook all of a sudden. But anyway, continue.
Yeah, so it came out a while ago. Now, it's one of those really old school style YouTube videos where, you know, the guy is standing 30 meters back from the dude, you can't hear him, and then it just cuts to straight into in-car stuff. Now, he's got some good points among a lot of stuff you probably shouldn't do nowadays, but yeah, like, his whole beginning segment of the video, he says, you know, like, start nice and easy, do donuts around cones, and like, honestly, I sort of wish I did that, but I never really had the opportunity to, because we don't have parking lot drifts.
That's one thing. I will say about this video in particular is that it's very chill, even in the way that it's filmed. It's very casual, which I think is the best way to learn. Rather than, like, I see when I go to Ebisu, you actually see Japanese come to a Drift Matsuri event to learn how to drift. And that has to be the worst event to ever go to learn.
Yeah.
Because you are surrounded by people that aren't
Throw
there to
down.
learn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or aren't there to be a very beginner learner, basically. Like, and here's another big thing about Drift Matsuri events that maybe people don't know is that, like, I would say that 60% of the Japanese people that go to Drift Matsuri sit on Kurokuru Land, the
The little skid pads.
the skid pads, the 2 skid pads, and line up for fucking like 20 minutes each to
Far
get
out.
on the fucking skid pad. And sometimes it gets really annoying because you'll have a Japanese person on there and they will just fucking stay on there for 15 minutes straight. They just don't care. Some people there just don't care about the next person who's like waiting in line. And if you want to test your car without having to go to a main track, you know, just after you fixed it, that's a real pain when you got to wait 40 minutes to realize your car's still broken.
Yeah. Look.
So, yeah, do keep that in mind. That pick your event to learn at. You know, there's events to learn at, and there's events to be a skilled driver at.
Yeah.
In
definitely.
America, it's probably a bit easier, I think, to go to a very learner-focused events.
Like, they have a lot of, you know, like groups that are split up. You know, I think, you know, here it doesn't work very well because people get their egos hurt, and it sucks. There's like, just start in the bottom group, work your way up. Not very hard.
I think if we go back to one of our previous podcasts as well about what makes a good drift event, we spoke about that a continuous lap drift event is a much more fun drift event.
Yeah.
But if you are learning, do not go to a continuous lap drift event.
Yeah, or if, you know, they do something like they do in America where they have, you know, your beginner group and they run for like 20, 30 minutes, and then you've got your advanced group and they run the 20, 30 minutes. I mean, then you can change your tires and have a drink. You don't need to stress about it.
Yeah, no, totally.
But yeah, the one thing I did like about this video is they do bring up some good points about just taking it easy when you first start. You know, do some practice hoops around cones, and then you get into your figure eights. And
I wouldn't bother with this tandem stuff. That's
it kind of got a bit out of whack here. But yeah, you know, they brought up some good points. They talked a lot about transitions, but never really explained it. But there was one big no that I noticed in the video, and that's like they were trying to explain how to do a transition. He was just letting go of the steering wheel.
Yeah, don't go like this.
Don't put your hands up near the roof when you transition. Just hands next to your wheel.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, like they brought some good points up about throttle control and all that. You know, being able to tighten and, you know, move out your circles around the cone, and it's a good way to start. I wish we had an opportunity to do that. We don't really have parking lot or gymkhana events that allow that here. But we do have Archie now, and they do beginner days, which is really good. And you have driver coaches there to help you. So if you're in Queensland and you want to get into drifting, go see Luke.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, great.
One thing I will say about that Garage Sideways video is I would not recommend that video to someone who is just about to learn. That's an entertainment video, not a thing. And speaking of entertainment videos, we now have the
video number 2.
Yeah, video number 2. Everyday Drivers, I'm pretty sure these guys are called.
They're a pretty big YouTube channel. They have a pretty big base, but they focus more on reviews.
It's a journalism type thing.
Yeah. Now they did was it a 20-minute long episode?
This was freaking long.
Yeah, it was a long episode about them learning to drift.
Yeah.
And
parts of it were freaking cringy.
Oh, it was very cringy. Now, if you're learning to drift, don't even go near this video.
Yeah.
Because it really doesn't help. Like the title was very misleading.
Yeah. So I think the biggest difference with this video compared to the better videos is this video is from a learner's perspective.
Yeah.
Not from a teacher's perspective, like a student's perspective, essentially.
Yeah.
I guess maybe people can kind of relate to this, and if you're getting stuck on some of the super basics like donuts, figure eights, and stuff like that, then maybe watching this video like might make you go click, I don't have access to a teacher, but maybe I'm doing the same thing wrong that these guys are doing wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, there was like, in saying that, there wasn't no good points in this video.
Yeah.
Because the guys there that were in the video actually had no idea about drifting.
Yeah.
Like genuinely no idea, which was actually really, really funny at the start. I did actually have a good laugh. It's just like holding the wheel there and he's like, oh no, it's understeering. Yeah, that's what happens, man. They actually had some good points about when he was starting to understand the fact that, you know, you got to use your throttle in time with your steering wheel, and, you know, for somebody that is getting stuck on, little things, and it happens. Everybody gets stuck on,
Everyone's got to start
random
somewhere.
things,
Yeah.
And like, I was stuck on just like using handbrake to stop until like one night Trav came in the car and he just like, wait, why aren't you using foot brake?
Yeah.
And then it was, mind blown. It's just that, somebody just needs to show you or give you a little direction to what you should be doing. So I feel like this video would be good if you're like getting stuck on some basic stuff,
Mm-hmm.
because you can have a bit of a laugh about it as well.
Yeah.
While you're there.
Yeah. And I think if anything, this video proves that having a teacher that is a good teacher, mind you, to be able to point out to you exactly what you are doing wrong while you're learning, how vital that is, and how these guys can go from literally knowing absolutely nothing about drifting to doing handbrake into a figure eight by the end of it, basically.
Yeah, being able to do basic transitions.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a huge progression from, like absolutely zero starting out on the same day.
To probably have just heard about drifting and go, yeah, I should probably know how to do that as a journalist, you know?
Their biggest drift clip, I think, was they did a power slide in a GT86, and I don't even think it was them driving, because I watched that video back when it first came out.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just really didn't quite grasp the idea. Circuit racers is what they are. They have no idea. And they even hear about them talking about it when they try to do the donuts. They're like, oh, my mind's always, trying to get out of the slide and I can't break the habit. And, they just kept repeating that. But then, they moved on and they finally got it. And you can see here, like in the little clip, if you're watching our video.
Yeah.
It doesn't take him very long to even, nail the figure eights, because
once it clicks, he kind of just everything falls into place, which I found happens when I was learning as well. Like, because I learned to drive at Ebisu. I was that idiot who went to, I'd never pulled handbrake before I went to Ebisu. I never kicked clutch, nothing.
Like, you owned a KE70.
Yeah, it was open diff.
Yeah, you never kicked the clutch?
No. I didn't want to break it. I had to get to work.
Man, not that a 4K has any power to break a gearbox, but fair call.
I'm probably more worried about the motor. But,
kicks, clutch, spins, bearings. Sorry, 4K people.
No, blow out a head gasket or something. That happened a fair. I had 1, 2, 3 head gaskets. Anyway, when I went to Ebisu, I'd done nothing, but I followed one of my friends who was quite a very skilled driver, had drifting in Sydney as well previously, and he came in the car with me, took me around for one lap to just show me the kind of the rough line, and then I just followed him and just tried my best to mimic exactly what he was doing, the speed that he was doing and everything like that, which I think is another really great way to learn, is to just mimic someone, and then just have them point out to you like what you're doing wrong, like get them, after a few laps, get them to come in passenger with you and go, oh, stop doing this and that. That really helps if you can't afford or can't find like a drift school.
Yeah, most definitely. I feel like, definitely having someone that is more knowledgeable than you come in the car with you and just point out little things. It helps a lot. Like, just all about progressing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But
anyways, I mean, it's a great entertainment video. I don't recommend the everyday driver video if you're straight up learning. Maybe if you get stuck on something and you need to just
or if
see
you want to
some
see
other
like,
people.
What not to do.
What not to do, basically.
Yeah.
Anyways, what to do.
Yeah. This is probably, in my opinion, the best How to Drift series I've ever seen.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I can't believe I hadn't stumbled across his channel earlier, but Chelsea Denofa is actually an amazing teacher.
Yeah, he's a really good talker. I watched these videos when they first came out, even as I feel like watching these videos as a refresher for you can be really good. And, you might understand the mechanics and of how to drift and everything like that and how to do it yourself. But once you hear someone explain like why it's doing what it's doing, or, it's kind of just like reaffirms in your mind that you're doing it the right way as well, I guess. If you don't know, Chelsea Denofa is a professional Formula Drift driver, and he is driving very basic cars in this series. They're just $800 slapper.
Basically just coilovers in a BMW with a diff.
I don't even think these have coilovers.
Oh, true.
Yeah, he mentioned what they had at the start. This car, each of these cars in this only own $913. It was a pod filter. The car cost $800 and he spent $100 on something. I think maybe he was welding the diff or something like that. It was $100 for something. He said that in the very start, in the introductions, what everything cost him for this car. But I did write some points for all these. These will just play out. They're relatively short, which was probably only one of my complaints, and I think it's also why these videos haven't blown up as big as they probably should have, is because they're all around the 3-minute mark, and YouTube really doesn't seem to like that. It won't promote these really short videos, and I feel like if he condensed it into maybe 2 parts, like 4 videos each part, got it into that 20-minute mark, he probably would have gotten a little bigger and more traction on these. But definitely check them out.
Yeah, even if you're an advanced driver.
Yeah, or at least an intermediate, you know, like, or you think you know what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely, you know, good to have a refresher on it. Like,
and if you haven't driven in a while as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like really, really good at explaining everything. Even the donut video that's playing right now.
Yeah.
Like his whole explanation on how to, you know, make it wider or tuck it in tighter, and you know what you should be doing with your hands at the same time. Very, very well put together.
Yeah.
Like if you're starting to drift, watch his series.
Yeah. I think
straight up.
I think the only thing that I think people who are learning how to drift won't connect with this video is just how easy he makes it look. Because the dude can steer. Like, it is effortless for him to do these videos. And that's a good thing because it makes it look like it's easy to do. But when you get out in the real world, when you're learning, it's not going to be as easy as what he's just doing. He's just like, you just do this and it just does this. And you're just like, what? You know, like, especially if you're learning.
Yeah.
So I got some quick notes written down for these set of videos. So the first video, the part 1, the donuts video, great video, great explanation. The explanation of throttle equals more wider and less throttle equals closer was really good. Super easy to understand for people. Good explanation about having cars that are perfect for beginners, like the setup wise and what you need. That was really good in that. Only thing is a bit short, and we've already mentioned that. And the figure 8 section, I really feel like that should have at least been directly after this video, but it was actually like part 4, I'm pretty sure. And I think that kind of just needed to be flipped. But I think from my memory, this was originally released as a 3-part, and then the 4 to 6 episode, with the next 3, were only released thereafter. These ones, to kind of fill in the gaps, essentially. Part 2 video, again, really good. I think you need to elaborate a bit more on hand movements in this. If you do watch this one, he's just like, and you just throw it. And it's just like, well, that's not the best explanation for that. A couple of those things in the part 2 video, you might need to watch a couple of times if you are a learner. That was one thing I noticed. He's showing throttle control in all of these videos, basically, in the wet, but not even mentioning anything about dry drifting, or showing or explaining difference, nothing like that. So just remember, if you are learning, that this is mostly about wet track
on
drifting.
the wet track. Yeah, I did notice that.
And he didn't really say whether you should be going to a wet track day as a beginner or a dry. So I wanted to ask you what your thoughts on that were.
I had a 50-50 on my first day.
Yeah.
So I bought my 8.6 and I basically blew the motor up on the way home, bought a new motor, put it all together, and like the day before my track day, I like went over the car, found all the, like, everything loose underneath it, did it all up, and I was like, sweet, ready for my first track day. Got there and it poured down with rain.
Yeah.
So I spent the first half of the day learning in the rain, which was pretty good because it's a lot slower and everything's a lot calmer in the car, I guess. It is nicer to learn in the wet.
Yeah.
But you just got to be ready to take that step and get it into the dry, because Especially if you have a low-powered car, you have to be committed.
Yeah.
Commitment is key. But
I think that for me, I learnt. I think my first like day at that first Ebisu trip was dry. When I was on the skid pan, I significantly remember that being dry. And then from then on, I'm pretty sure it rained basically at least 70% of the rest of the trip.
yeah,
That made it heap better to learn throttle control
yeah,
and steering inputs, because you can kind of, in the wet, I guess, you can kind of steer more without the crazier change. Whereas in
Yeah,
the dry, if you steer too much,
yeah.
you're gonna...
It's very twitchy.
Yeah, it's very twitchy
grippy.
in comparison.
Yeah,
I would nearly say if you can start on like a wet skid pan, like a big open wet skid pan.
definitely.
Yeah.
I'd almost recommend that too.
Yeah. And the other thing that you didn't mention in that video was doing or not doing a manji after you exit. I feel
No manjis. No manjis.
Yeah, it depends. Like if
It
you're
depends on-
tandeming, definitely no manjis.
If you're by yourself, go for it. But don't get into a habit of doing it. 'Cause
Yeah. It's fun
it's-
to do sometimes.
it's fun. Like
it's
if
that
you're by
power
yourself, you can just like swing it out. But
yeah,
don't get into a habit of it, because when you start changing and you like do tandems, you become the asshole that cuts everyone off.
yeah,
And if you're driving low-powered cars, you can't keep up.
yeah. The only other thing that I don't think you really went into much was he mentioned seat position, but he only talked about your arms. He didn't talk about your legs and about like not locking up your knee and making
Yeah.
sure that your knee is still bent when you're pushing
that
clutch
is a
in.
big thing. I've seen a lot of people just straight leg. Now, like
Yeah.
if you get in an accident,
Yeah.
like
But even still,
Sylvia's-
like if you getting older, and your knee like locks, you
Oh.
know, I've had friends who like lock their knees, and
No.
you don't want to lock your knee like that.
No.
It's not good for you.
no, definitely
So-
not. Like, especially S13s are terrible for it.
Yeah,
Make sure you've got your legs bent, because if you ever get into a front end bingle, even if you're just like on the street, you're driving home from work, someone runs a red light, you don't want to be.
yeah, definitely get into the habit of not having your seat all the way back, even if you're tall. Like I'm 6'1", and I don't have my seats all the way back, even in my A86.
Yeah, no.
So
I actually sit pretty close in my
Yeah.
A6, just more comfortable.
um,
It's got a heap of leg room, thankfully.
yeah, I feel like when I was younger, I used to put my seat all the way back a lot. And then as I got older,
Realized your wrongdoings.
yeah, that's it. Hearing. So,
But yeah, seating position. Just there's a lot of good videos on that. I mean, revolving around circuit racing. A lot of that does actually translate to drifting as well.
yeah.
Safety
yeah.
is key.
So, in my opinion, I'm just reading this straight out loud. If sliding enough in a seat that you need to use a dead pedal to hold you in place, that it doesn't let you focus on learning because you're worried about ending up in the passenger seat. This was very lightly mentioned, but I think that's a big one.
I feel like bucket seats are a huge thing. I mean,
Yeah,
we've
depending on
both-
what your car comes with.
Well, yeah, but most of the people that I've met that have been learning, especially our friend, he has an S14. He had, was it stock seat?
Yeah,
was it?
stock
Stock seat
S14
for a while.
Yeah,
And then he put a bucket seat in, and the first thing he said was like, everything just got so much better.
Yeah.
You're not fighting the car to stay in the seat. You can actually focus on driving.
and I think like the next step is harnesses.
I don't like harnesses.
I fucking
can't.
love driving with
No.
harnesses.
I tried the other day.
I tend to lean forward a lot as I'm drifting, so harnesses get me out of that habit.
You're like when you play Xbox, you start really chill, and you're like all the way back. And
Yeah, you
start
get, like,
leaning
focus
more forward.
and
You
you're
get
like,
focus.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
No, I don't do
That's
that.
me. I need harnesses when I'm playing PlayStation. I
Wait,
get too
Gran
into
Turismo,
it. Yeah,
man.
man. Oh, so I mention. Like Gran Turismo 4 back in the day.
Oh, what a game! What a game!
Ugh. Part 3, handbrake entry. I just laughed that you could hear him kicking the clutch like the shit out of it the whole time. On this poor little fucking BMW in the wet. I'm like, oh. Then he said, well, the diff, don't do anything else. And I thought that was fucking a perfect quote.
Funny enough, we were actually talking about something very similar the other day. Back in the day, I'm pretty sure it was Luke Fink.
Yeah. In a green S14.
In an S14 with weldies and choppies.
Yeah.
And then sent it. And then did a little interview with him and he was like, oh, what do you need to drift? And he's like, weldies and a choppy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Choppies
and a
weldy.
Yeah. And then got back in the car and did more skits.
Yeah. And was literally like out driving everyone. And they're like, oh, what's done to the car? And he's like, choppies and a weldy. That's all you need to drift. And like that literally just stuck with me. Like it's stuck with me my whole life. Since then. The other thing that he did in that video was in part 3 was he did like a tech tip on adjusting the brakes. I'm pretty sure that car has drum rears and you shouldn't just adjust it at the actual cable. If you are going to adjust it like it does in that video, please just pull your fucking wheels off and just do it properly at the drum first.
I'm terrible, I just adjusted at the handle. I'm lazy.
Anyway.
Nah, my cables were like stretched out, so
yeah, probably because you fucking kept tightening them up.
Wasn't my car, was it?
Okay, part 4, figure eights. It was a really good figure eight explanation.
It was a super tight track. It showed like awesome car control.
Yeah, and we're up to a really good part here. I can't pause this thing in the background, but
running quickly through.
Actually, I can. I will pause this at the moment. So we're up to part 4 about the figure eights, and he heavily mentioned in here to not let go of the wheel and to just no. He said let go of the wheel, and you could physically see him like going like this, and I'm like, man, don't teach people to do that.
I feel like he was doing that as a, like, to show people you can just let go of the wheel.
Yeah,
in all his
but
other
it came
wheels,
across as
yes, I did
that not to just let it slide in your hands.
All his other vids, he's letting it slide in his hand, and
yeah,
I will hope that most people aren't getting that these days because it's terrifying.
Then he had a good explanation about tire pressures. That was actually a really good explanation for people.
I missed that part.
Yeah, watch the part 4 for a really good explanation about how tire pressures affect you and stuff like that. I think the only thing that I would add to all that is, especially if you're going to do wet track drifting, is definitely new tires.
New tires and 10 pound.
Nah, don't be stupid. But
what?
No, he went through how to figure out. I'll tell you what he said in the video. So he said start high and work your way lower by 5 psi each until your car starts to bog while you're driving, like drifting. Then just take it up another 5, and that's where you need to be for the car.
But even the 480 doesn't bog in the wet.
No, this is like dry tire
yeah.
pressures.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I thought that was a really good explanation about tire pressures for people so that they can really understand how to set your tire pressure properly for while you're learning it at the very least.
Yeah, while you're learning. I mean, when you drive more, you sort of pick your preference.
It's going to be
Trav's
whether
ridiculous.
you want to... Yeah, but it's going to be whether you want to save your diff, your axles, your gearbox, your clutch. If you'd rather go through tires, if you like Ben and you're just on bulk cash and you can just afford to break shit, then fucking just run 10 pound. But
wait, not good. I haven't broken anything. I did break a clutch, but
yeah, exactly.
That was easy. I was going Mac 10 too. It was awesome.
Anyway,
moving on.
But yeah, if you want an explanation about tire pressures, I think that was actually really good. Part 5, I just wrote it was good. It was just linking turns. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it's just watch it. Just watch it. It's good.
Just watch his whole series. It is good.
The other one, the final one that he did was part 6, which was handbrake extension. If you don't really understand what that means, it was basically like as you're drifting to then just put clutch in, pull handbrake, and then you can like slide that bit further towards the corner. So you can like reach another
adjust your line a little bit.
Yeah, adjust your line, but also hold your line without like having to
angle.
cut the dropping angle or anything like that. It was a really good explanation of that. So, but and that was it for this one, apart from what we're about to get into for this next video series that he did, or not series, but
part
video.
of this, but yeah.
It's some more where it goes from a beginner tutorial into an intermediate tutorial, basically.
Yeah, I mean, even I took something out of these videos, and I've been doing them for a while. It was really, really informative.
Yep.
They actually had two really good drivers come on. They had Matt Field and Odie Baxter come on.
So
and
I'll hit play for this one.
Let's just hit play and we'll roll through it as they drive in the background.
Yeah, so this one was a tandem explanation.
How to tandem like a pro.
Is what the video is called. It was really well done, basically.
Very well done.
Because he could just tell these guys to do something and they would just automatically do it.
Yeah.
You know, there was no stuffing around with like, oh, it should look like this. It was just like, no, this is what it looks like. Do it like this.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
So
they brought up some very good explanations on, you know, if you're driving in a tandem line that's, you know, more than 2 cars deep, you know, as the lead driver, you sort of have the obligation that you need to run that wide line to be able to give the people that are following you a fair chance, you know, because, you know, the further down the tandem line you get, the tighter that, you know, radius of the corner that you can drift is, you know, and you start running out of space. And they put a lot of emphasis on that throughout the video, especially on entries, which was really, really good.
And not to munch you on an exit.
Yes, don't mind you on exits while you're tandeming.
I think that, because I know a lot of people are from Queensland who watch our videos, if you're going to go to QR Matsuri, and especially if you've never done it before and you're thinking about doing tandems there and stuff like that, or anywhere, and doing tandems, watch this freaking video first. Because it gives you the explanation on etiquette.
Yes. That was, I did write that in there. The driver etiquette of tandeming is was actually really well explained. I've never actually really thought about it as in depth as they had.
Yeah.
But that's mainly because I drive with people that I know.
Yeah, and it's kind of an unspoken rules, whereas he's like clearly laying out the rules.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like America is actually more open for that. Like, a lot of people just end up driving together where we're a little bit precious, I guess. We just drive with our friends. Not cool enough.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
no, I mean,
we can't buy an A86 for $1,000
yeah,
like
you know,
they can in
another
America.
thing
So.
to it. It's just like, oh, I don't know you. Please don't crash into my car. We don't have fiberglass panels. But yeah, they brought up a lot of good points about, you know, the etiquette and, you know, letting the marshal know, as well as the people that, you know, are behind or in front of you, how many cars are following. You know, like either give space or you can move up on me. You know, it was very good, very well thought out.
Yeah.
A few little things in there that I never really thought about beforehand either. So
yeah,
that was cool. I'm pretty sure this is, I don't know, it wasn't part of this video, but yeah, coming up, they brought up a bit about tandem transitions.
Yeah, and where he hit him.
Yeah.
Which is all,
I've heard
either
it's
happened or it's about to
minute.
happen.
I think this is the clip here. So if you're watching, this should be
I think
the video, right? Oh, no, it'll be coming up in a minute anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, they talk about the, you know, multiple ways that you can stay chasing the car in front of you. So where Matt Field was talking a little bit more about, you know, adjusting with the handbrake behind the driver, Odie was talking about, you know, left foot braking. Now, I've never really...
I've played with it a little bit, but not seriously.
Not in tandem.
No, I'm all use handbrake in tandem. There we go.
Yeah. Yes, so like, and saying that though, Brendan, when he follows me, says that he uses a lot of left foot brake just to adjust the front of his car to, you know, like tuck in that tiny little bit more.
I know a fair few people that do.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a very valuable thing to learn.
I think that's definitely an advanced method. I could probably do it if I forced myself to do it and it became a habit.
Yeah, so I've never really... I mean, I spend most of my time leading with Brendan because his car's just that little bit quicker. So we work really well with me leading, so I haven't really had a whole lot of a chance to practice left foot braking. But in this video, they brought up a lot of good points about it. You can, like, especially when you have a car with a bit of power, you know, while you're coming in out of the corner, can load it up on the brake a little bit just to give that car in front of you that extra little bit to swing around, and then you can get off and you've still got all the boost there. You can shoot back up on the inside.
Yeah, well, from some tandeming that I was doing at Ebisu in November with some guys from New Zealand. That was probably like my first like major close tandeming for a full day and a half straight, basically, of only doing tandem runs, and I learned a lot in that. But some of the bigger bits were, and I learned it the previous year as well, was when you're coming up the hill for, say, North Course, if you got like a half a second jump on that person, they are not catching up, no matter how, like we're talking like my car's an RB20 and his was an RB25, and if I got a half second jump on him, he couldn't catch me on the hill.
Yeah.
You know?
It'd be the corner after that any distance gets closed.
Yeah, and by that time you've stopped drifting on North Course because you don't want to waste tires. Yeah. So, I think that comes down a lot with etiquette and also just making it look good. Was don't go stupid fast as a lead car.
Line, yeah.
Yeah, or as a lead car, you can kind of slow down to let that person tuck up on you, and that's with going wide, as well.
Yeah, like but running a not super speedy but a very consistent,
safe line.
Not even safe, like just easy to follow line. Like, because if you're tandeming with your friends in that sort of situation, you are tandeming to be able to get as close as possible together. So, as they said in the video, be courteous to your friends. Like they said, don't, run your friends off track because nobody wants that.
Yeah.
Like give them a bit of room on the inside, because nothing looks better than, having your best mate come right up on your door.
Yeah.
Maybe even leave a cheeky scuff mark,
And what they're talking about now is actually like bailing and how to bail properly.
How to bail properly. This was actually a very good segment.
This kind of, I think, needs to be almost an actual rule at racetracks that do tandeming, and that's like always going to the left or like the outside of a corner when you're bailing.
Outside of the spin.
Because I've seen so many people that do end up going on the inside when someone spins.
And they just loop it.
Yeah, or the person behind them then hits them. Like, you see a lot of accidents at QR from people not bailing right that probably could have been totally avoided if they knew how to bail.
Yeah.
So it's like with any sport, I think it's like knowing how to fall.
Yeah.
Not breaking your bone. It's like not breaking your car. It's like knowing how to fail.
Yeah, I mean, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to like throw that in at the driver's briefing, maybe, if it spins, here's your safe zones on each part of the track, to drive off through them.
Yeah, exactly. And as well for tracks to provide that runoff.
Yeah.
If it's a good track.
If it's possible, like
some
tracks
reason,
you can't,
reason.
There's a lot of walls at Archie.
Yeah, but there is still some runoff. I've seen you jump off and bail on tracks at Archie.
A lot of like off sections at Archie.
Yeah.
There are places to like move out of the way,
And breaking off a front bar or a side skirt is a hell of a lot
blowing
better.
aero up is better than crashing your car. And they even mention that in the video. They're like, hey, go off track. Doesn't matter if you break a bumper or whatever. He's like, not the end of the world,
you can hop back on track.
Yeah, if you end your day by crashing into your friend just because, you didn't want to bail or you didn't choose to.
Yeah.
There's a way worse way to end your day.
I mean, like, accidents happen.
Oh, it's unavoidable sometimes. It happens, but...
But if you can avoid it, like, I think knowing how to avoid it is a big thing before you start trying to tandem.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And realizing how quickly your car can stop, but also keeping maintenance on your car so that you can stop.
Yeah. Good front tires.
Good front tires, decent brakes, making sure your brake lines aren't going to blow when you absolutely stand on them, and just shit like that too,
Yeah, general maintenance. I mean, I think we've spoken about this before.
We've spoken about it plenty of times.
Like braided lines, they're everywhere. They're not even expensive anymore, so you really don't have an excuse.
Yeah.
Unless you have an obscure car, but
yeah,
just get them custom made.
I would definitely say to watch this tandem video.
100%.
It's fucking golden.
There is a lot of good info in there. I mean, and you can see sort of the different perspectives for each driver. See, the end section here, they're talking about what each driver looks for at the start of a tandem run. And, Matt Fields saying, you know, he'll come up on the inside, he'll be watching the front guard for when they initiate, and then he can watch the front wheels and the front guard to be able to gauge distance and what the person in front of him is going to be doing.
Yep.
So, like, I thought that was really interesting. Odie, on the other hand, said he watches the back of the front door. Yeah, like, he's like, I'll watch for, you know, like the dip for right before he flicks, and he's like, then I can gauge how far up the quarter panel I want to drive, or
Yeah.
I can cut it back, or if I see the back of the car start swinging in, I know he's not going to make the whole corner at that angle, so I can back off a bit more. There's a lot of cool little...
Yeah, and like how to
Like-
initiate, you know, like how close you can get up and then, you know, pull yourself back in line as well.
Exactly.
There's so much
There was
info
just-
in that video.
So many little tips in there that
Yeah.
I mean, I'd never even
Yeah.
thought about thinking of, and
Yeah.
you know, now I'm like real keen to go to the track and like test it, because
Yeah.
like, oh, these are like new things.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
But super good video. Go watch it. Doesn't matter. I think even if you've been driving for a while, there's people that do that for a living. Obviously,
yeah.
have a good idea of what they're talking about.
And-
Even if you don't like Formula D,
Yeah.
you can't take away from the fact that these guys are awesome drivers.
Oh, yeah. And the really good thing about like these three drivers in particular is they can talk the technicalities really, really well in an understandable language.
Yeah.
So again, it's not a beginner thing.
No.
But this is a beginner to tandeming thing.
Yeah, you know, like...
And even I would say an intermediate to almost advanced level. Because you might think you're really good at tandeming, and then you might watch this and go, oh, that makes sense.
You'll definitely
you know?
take something away
Yeah.
from the video. Like, there's just so much knowledge in that video.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's just ridiculous. Like, how much
Yeah.
good little things, like little tips.
Yeah, and then and so many of them they just didn't elaborate on that you kind of wish that they did.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
Yeah. But now we're
Yeah.
on to the creme de la creme.
the OG, Mr. Noriaro himself.
Yeah, Mr. Alexi Smith.
So, this was actually one of my first how-to drift videos I watched, and it made a lot of sense to me. It still does. It's
Yeah.
a little dated.
Yes,
But-
especially the camera is
Especially
quite
the
potato.
I'm pretty sure it was a VHS. It's still in the
I'm
little
pretty sure it was just a VHS
like,
camcorder that was
Sony
just like
camcorder,
probably
bro.
just like either duct tape
I
or
was about
cable
to
tied
say-
to the seat.
Yeah, probably. Anyways, but yes, that is a very, very good video. Alexi actually does go into a fair bit of detail about how to... Well, I mean, I feel like really good if you're starting out. He has a great explanation on how to do like your handbrake entries.
Yep. Yeah. So I wrote that really great about the handbrake.
Yeah,
in
and
this
then
one.
at the end of every segment, he does reinforce, you know, make sure you unwind the steering wheel as you're coming out of the corner, because
Yeah.
like you see a lot of beginners like now they don't put that into a whole lot of practice straight up, and you see them come out of the corner and they end up doing like, you know, your fish slapper or whatever you call it.
Well, I think that maybe that's because these days people wind a lot more caster into their cars than what they would have done back when this was filmed too.
Yeah,
So
see, that's also another thing.
this is a super basic 180SX.
Yeah,
Like,
it's got, I mean, Tane Super Street coilovers,
yeah,
which were
and Tane cast rods. And that's probably about it.
LSD. Well, he runs
Yeah,
through the
two-way.
specs of his car.
Yep.
Basically, the best performance mod on it was basically socks over the reservoir
Mhm.
to make sure it doesn't, you know, spill fluid and catch fire. And
Yeah.
but it actually overall is like a general guide to getting into drifting. It brings up some very good points. I mean,
Yeah.
like, throwing socks over your reservoirs is not something you're going to think about when you first go drifting.
Yeah.
And it can happen. It has happened. You know, like power steering reservoirs aren't as good as they were back in the day. Their
Mhm.
seals are leaking. And when you're throwing the car left to right, something's going to catch fire.
I honestly think after watching the Chelsea's How to Drift videos and this video, that if they were the only How to Drift videos that you watched, and if you watched, you know, say 3 a day and then restarted them and watched all of them again and then went to the track probably the weekend afterwards, you would probably pick it up really quickly.
Yeah, I would say you'd probably be like linking everything.
I wish that I'd watched these before that I started, because I probably again would have even got better quicker.
Yeah.
I didn't have these available when I started, you know. So
yeah, I mean, I was pretty lucky with that. I mean, I watched these a long time before I actually got a drift car.
Yeah.
So I would have watched these about 3 years before I got a car.
Right.
So it was burnt into my mind for a while.
I think I'd only watched the Drift Bible one, and I'd watched that maybe like 3 or 4 years before I started, and it was in Japanese with subtitles, so...
Yeah.
And who knows how good the subtitles were back then. Some points I've got about this video in particular is that I really miss Oran Park, and I wish that was a thing still.
Devastated.
It's got an awesome 2000s potato cam. It needs more foot cam though. There's no foot cam.
Man, the VHS camera was too big to sit under the seat. All right, give him a break.
I think they could make it work, but I think it's more that Alex is pretty tall and there's no room for the camera down there at all within 180SX. One thing is, if you are a fan of Noriyoro's videos, go watch this one and just hear how fucking Australian he sounds, mate.
Man.
Fuck.
So good. It's like when he talks about unwinding at the end of each corner, if you don't, you're going to go flying off the road, mate.
Yeah,
mate.
This is so Aussie knocker, and it's fucking amazing
it's actually
to watch
so good.
this.
Like, go watch his, latest videos when he's in Japan, and then go watch this. You won't believe it. Like, you'll see him and you're like, that doesn't sound like Alexi.
I think, Alexi, if you ever watch this, just go back and watch this video in particular and you'll be like, what the fuck? Yeah, mate, you just sound like one of us, eh?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, get a titty, mate. It's all right.
Get me some 4X gold, mate. Up the maroons, mate.
Yeah, mate.
He did good talking about getting close and far from a cone. I think that Chelsea did one
actually
as well.
A very similar explanation to Chelsea's one. So
yeah, talking about tires wearing out was really good, and to know when to quit.
Yeah.
Good. I think one thing that he really emphasizes that you can even see in his latest driving videos is being aggressive on the wheel and the handbrake, especially in a low-powered car. When you compare that to how Chelsea drives, where it's just very cruisy, I'm in the wet, and then high speed in the dry in a low-powered 180SX, and he's just throwing it. That is the style I really like, and you can really notice it in this. And you see it today in his driving style. It's definitely that very A86 style.
Yeah, like driving. No power, throw it in.
I really liked the comment. Remember, this is a dated video, and it's like hitting a corner without a handbrake in competition drifting because so that you can get away from the person behind you, because if they don't know how to do that, they're not going to be able to keep up with you.
So good.
Yeah, man, because people were shit back then, basically.
It was ridiculous. Like, clutch kick entries are mind-blowing. Oh my god, you're so fast. It's absolutely so awesome. Like, such a time capsule of footage.
Oh, yeah. I wish there was more of these from this era.
There is a few floating around. Era. So there's a couple from Japan. So if you do like this video, just try and go through the related.
This is on the Automoto.
It's on the Automoto channel
and
somewhere.
There's quite a few good ones. I saw there's some high-performance import ones that I've definitely put in my watch later list.
Most definitely.
Yeah, there's some really cool ones on there. And if you guys can't find it, especially this video, I will link you. But if you search Automoto, O-double-T, is it?
Nah, O-T-O Moto. Like MTO.
Yeah.
It's all one word. Really easy.
All one word. Give that a go.
The other thing that you notice is manjiing was still a very big thing back then.
Oh yeah, I was just about to say that one.
I was going through some old footage from QR, and I was talking with a few people that actually been driving since like the early days, and they were talking about how far it had come. Like, people would just like off the line would go manji through turn 2, manji up to dipper, down through there, because it was all about sliding for as long as possible.
Yeah.
Whereas, the style today has progressed a lot. We all want to try and go for that big high-speed entry. And yeah, I do enjoy the old manji video. They're great.
Yeah.
Awesome, but these days it's a little bit irrelevant. Good fun.
It's good fun, I think, but it has a time and a place.
Yes, correct.
He did a really good explanation on letting your wheels spin in your hand without letting go, which he still does today. You can see he's always driving even still today.
Yeah.
It was really funny when he blew the gearbox 3/4 way through the video, and he's like, I'll still be able to drive home. And then
jumped in the Drift Australia CAS.
That was a Drift Battle magazine.
Drift Battle, sorry.
Yeah, which is who made the video, by the way. And how good did that CA18 sound in that fucking car? I was like,
good.
God damn, I need more CA18 in my life.
Damn.
Yeah. He did a really good explanation on keeping the revs up and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
One really big takeaway that I need notice about his video in comparison to every other video was the enthusiasm and
100%.
fun that he was having in that video. Even in comparison to his later videos, I don't think anything compares to that one that I've seen. He was loving life in that video.
You'll see a lot of if you go on the channel, he pops up in a lot of other little videos here and there. But yeah, you can tell he was obviously a lot younger then. A lot more energy. But yes, no, he was very enthusiastic about the video, and that was probably what connected with me the most was, just the whole fun of it, and that's what drifting's supposed to be.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be anything less than you having fun.
Yeah, exactly. Like you think back of the Scott Mitchell Media ones of the hit and run DC at Evasu, and how much fun that is. I think people, I don't know, I swear a lot of the drifting videos these days are so much about the drama and a lot less about the fun.
Yeah.
And maybe that's one thing that's, stopping drifting from getting bigger than it is, is that people are focusing on the wrong thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. It should always be, about you having fun. And that's, I shared a picture on the Facebook page of Nomoken in the 34. And he basically said the same thing, don't practice because you have to practice, have fun practicing.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're not going to get better. You're not going to enjoy it. So, push yourself, but make sure you're having fun while you're doing it. Because if you're not, maybe it's not the right thing.
Yeah. No, totally.
But yeah.
But that is the end of that one. I don't know what's going on there. But there we go. We want to be on that one.
There we go. Yes. Hope you enjoyed that. It was very entertaining watching some of these videos. I mean, we had them sped up, so you can go through and find them on YouTube. They're pretty funny.
Yeah, and if you guys can't find any of them, just comment or whatever, or message us, and we'll stick up a link. I might even stick up the link just directly for that Automoto one on the page.
Definitely one of my all-time favorite videos.
Yeah, it's a cool video. But definitely watch Chelsea's ones.
Yes, 100%.
For modern and relevant and easy to watch, they trump all by far.
By far. For information value.
Yeah, I think the biggest drawing to the Automoto one is just nostalgia, to be honest.
100%.
Yeah.
While everything that is in that video is definitely still relevant, bar maybe manjing, it's still, Chelsea's videos go into a lot more in depth.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas Alexi's style is more fun and, watch both. But if you're learning, watch Chelsea's videos. They go into a lot of awesome little details that, you wouldn't think about otherwise.
Yep, totally. Before we cruise on out of here, news.
My best friend Brendan won the DCA.
Best friend?
Not you. Get out. No, we've been friends for ages. We used to play Forza together, and he took out the first round of the DCA State Championship in Queensland. So congratulations to him.
Yeah, definitely congratulations, dude.
Was an awesome battle. Super close.
Brendan Ryan in the red IS200.
Yep, with the Wanje.
Tell us, what is done to that car for him to win the Pro DCA Drift Challenge Australia at Archerfield, so that people have an idea on what it takes? What car does someone need to build to win Pro in a DCA comp?
Turn your boost up, buy some good coilovers, and get a good alignment. And a bucket seat.
And a 1J.
And a 1J.
With a factory turbo?
Yes, factory turbo. Factory dump.
There you go.
Yep.
So that's about 190 rear wheel kilowatt?
It is a little bit higher. He's got it tuned. for a little bit higher PSI. It makes, I think, 230 at the wheels, which isn't...
That's pretty high for a stock dump pipe.
Yeah, it's like that's the limit of what the dump pipe is. It's like they
what boost is that?
14 pound. Between 14 and 16.
I used to run mine at 16, so...
Yeah,
that's
like
pretty
where
good.
the proper tuner goes good. But the tuner said like you can get more power at this boost, but you need to change the dump.
Yep.
So basically it's just being restricted now by exhaust.
So other than that, it's just slammed cool wheels,
Yes.
paint, bucket seat, harness.
Well, yes, he did put in a harness in.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
Basic car.
basically all you need is just coilovers.
Knuckles.
Yes, they're like literally just bolt-on knuckles from Russia.
Russia.
Mother Russia. We have
In Russia, we get plywood and we heat it and then we cut it and drill a hole and that is knuckle. No, sorry for our Russian It's probably
in
more
Mother
than-
Russia, I'll desert drift you.
Yeah. In Mother Russia, we melt down tank and then we drill a hole and we bolt that into IS-200.
Well, actually, I would believe that because he's destroyed the rear end of my Skyline. I won't know. He's ripped the bushes inside the knuckle and bent my camber arm, and the front of his car's literally fine.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, I don't know
Russian.
what they make it out of, but it don't bend and it doesn't snap.
Fuck the Japan parts, buy the Russian parts.
Yeah, Russian, like, CNC steel. Like, a couple holes drilled in it.
Anyway, congratulations, Brendan.
Brendan's mad dog.
And just be aware, people, you don't have to build something
No.
fucking stupid to win a
That's it.
DCA comp. Like,
No, you don't. You know,
stop overbuilding your damn cars.
get out there and have fun.
Yeah.
Brendan literally... I'm not even joking. Up until it got pulled over by the police like a few months back, it was just easier to deregister it for the time. That thing was driven on the street and,
To work.
he drove it to work and
Yeah.
back, like, it's
It's a street car.
a street car and, you just need like a basic street car and you can still be competitive and have fun.
And hey, remember, it still looks fucking cool. You don't
Oh,
have
yeah.
to have a piece of shit.
Exactly. And that's what a lot of people said, actually. They're like, oh, why is your car so low? He's like, it's got to look cool.
God damn right.
But yeah, Four-Wheeler Drift was on over the weekend in Japan,
Yep.
I should say. Absolute insanity. I mean, the Kazama auto car went up the embankment and did a barrel roll. And everybody was okay, thankfully. But go check out some of the videos that were posted on Power Vehicles and you can catch the live stream on the YouTube channel. I think it is
Yeah.
uploaded now.
I'm pretty sure I saw the link
I'm pretty
for
sure
that
I did
up.
see it
Yeah, but you
as I
can see
scrolled
the
it.
short clip on Power Vehicles.
Power Vehicles, yeah. It was
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, wet. So
Very, very slippery. So
Yep.
there was a lot of like close calls.
what
so.
track was that? Do you remember? I know it wasn't
Then-
Ebisu.
What was it, Ebisu?
Was it?
Yeah. It was,
Oh, really?
yeah, what's the
Which one?
high-speed one?
Nishi?
Nishi.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the one where you come
Which
down the
end?
straight.
Which end? Oh,
Where-
at
where-
the end, at
Where
the straight.
Saito, like, drove up the embankment, did a jump, and then...
Oh, so the
Shinji
midway.
Minoru. Yeah, yeah.
The midway point. Yeah.
Yeah, they did a...
That's where a couple of years ago the head mechanic at Power Vehicles rolled his car and broke his collarbone.
Be safe. Be very safe.
Yeah.
Final bout was on about
Ooh.
3 weeks ago. Unfortunately, we didn't get to talk about it. I mean, our episode with Kaito was very full on. So that was on. Auto Factory Realize has uploaded 3 episodes.
3 or 4, something.
3 or 4 episodes just dedicated to Final Bout.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome footage.
Yep. Definitely check those guys out.
Lector 1.3 Media or 3.1, whatever it is, have uploaded a bunch of clips from the event. The guy is an absolute amazing videographer and...
Can you share them on the podcast?
We'll try, yes.
Yes.
We'll share them up there. Absolutely awesome footage. Looked like a crazy good event. At the same time, Alexi was actually in America, which we wanted to mention, but I think it slipped our minds as well. He was driving in Texas at Lone Star Drift with Adam LZ and Taylor A, so he pops up in all of those videos as well as his own 3-part series where he gets to go full American and drive a 32 GTR to a gun range. So
Guns.
gun.
Cool.
America. Now, it was an awesome video series. So there was a bunch of great footage out there. So if you're bored and have nothing to watch, go check it out.
Definitely.
Yeah, other than that, pretty much it.
I think that's about it. If you guys have any news, make sure you send it in. We
Yeah.
will probably mention it.
Yeah, and,
Unless
or
it's
if
fake
you
news.
Probably still mention it.
Probably so much. we don't background check shit.
No. Yeah, if you have a drifting story from your own country, or you want to share
if
something
you want
with
to
us,
shout out some local drivers that you think could be awesome to have
Yeah.
on our podcast,
or yourself, let us know. Hit us
or
up.
yourself. If you
We
got a
would
cool
love
story.
to have as many people on it, especially local people. We want to bring the stories of local drifters to the rest of the world. So
Yeah,
hit us up, let us know.
yeah,
Show us drifting videos from your own countries. It'd be cool.
yeah, wherever you are, we're really looking for a person. I will put it out there. I really want to speak to someone who is involved in Vic Drift. So if you can tag some people, that
We're keen.
are, involved with Vic Drift and drifting in Victoria, or even in South Australia as well with the new Tail and Bend, I'd really love to talk to some people
we're
down there
very
who are
keen.
driving tracks down that way. To really find out what the go is down there, because I've never been to a drift event in Victoria, and I've never even been to South Australia, so
You're not missing much.
don't say that. We're trying to get these people onto the podcast.
I'm
remember?
from South Australia. I'm allowed to.
It shows.
Oh.
I didn't say whether that was good or bad. Come on.
All right. No.
We'll judge after we get someone on from South Australia and say how good or bad that is.
But the only good thing about South Australia is Tail and Ben.
Ooh, shots fired.
Done.
All right.
No.
But yeah, if you guys do know anyone from down that way or from, your part of the world,
Yeah, hit us up.
hit us up. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I know that fucking channels punch this shit.
Yeah.
But
it
those
does-
channels are bigger than us, and we're small, so fucking share us, fucking bastards.
No, it seriously does help.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks for listening, guys. Have a good one, and catch us on all your regular podcasting applications.
Yeah, all of them. We're
All of
there.
them.
If we're not there,
If we're
message
not
us and
on
we'll
one
get
of
there.
them, please tell us, because
Yeah, we should be there.
we should be there.
Other than that, Facebook, YouTube, you can watch us live. You can even chat with us live. And if you can't chat with us live, just send us a message or leave us a comment.
And we'll
Happy
reply.
days. We'll reply probably as often as
we have episodes of the podcast,
which
because it's now
is
every
very-
Wednesday sometimes.
Yeah. It happens when it happens.
Yep.
Deal.
Done.
All right.
Thanks,
We're
guys.
out, guys. Catch ya.